Previously on Test C teams.
Iron bark in, you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would swear that was Prophet's recipe.
Ooh, yeah.
Wee woo!
What I would love to do is send the tentacles up and out not to kill
Not to
clients,
kill.
but to shock and to send awful out into the room from this detonating set of pseudopods.
Hovering in midair is a circle that looks as though it's made from a kind of razor sharp mesh. And then some occult calculation occurs and the outside becomes the inside.
Ooh, nasty.
And the tray is instantly shredded into strips.
I know that you stole Prophet's recipe for these cornerstones.
You can't... I stole it.
Yeah, you stole it.
I did steal it.
And
I did steal that.
honestly, I was mad, but now I'm just disappointed.
On the surface there, written in plain language, it says omen drawn.
Time is the enemy, the past, it threatens the fastest weapon. You wouldn't make it past a second, and that's the question. Play it brash and reckless, or choose a cautious solution you thought was prudent. In any sepulcher, pulchritude will become the putrid. It's that wealth that I'm pursuing. No mountain too steep or dungeon too deep to send expendable marks up to the top of the peak or beneath. They see you bleed, they come like sharks to it, while I swim in that money bin like Carl Barks drew it. So send your national parks druid, I'll send him home in a natural box with a closed top and most of the parts included. Save your breath for a cleric confessor. Death is a lesson and life is a tenured professor. But if you're seeking my official advice, sign on the dotted line, initial it twice.
Get it together.
Hello. I am Tycho Brahe of Penny Arcade and PAX. I am also a Minifus Hereward Drawn, CEO of Acquisitions Incorporated. But today, I'm Jeffrey K. Horcrims, and I'm here to run a game of Dungeons & Dragons for my friends. Specifically these friends at the table who I've missed very badly, except for Ryan, who works here all the time. I've seen him a lot, maybe too much.
Yeah, so start on your right.
To my
Best
right.
friend. This goes order of favorite to least favorite. So
Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Here,
that's it.
Back to his old tricks, his bullshit, as they say. Dragonborn narcissist, Donaar, what's in?
I missed him.
God help me, I missed him.
It's gotta be the last one to clap.
Here, to the right of my right, repping the natural world, come a fucking craw. It's walnut on grass.
Crawl!
Come a fucking craw, though.
I want to see that emote in chat.
Put your emotes up.
There's a cacaw? Emote.
Oh yeah,
there
there's
is.
that.
Yeah.
It's super cute.
Oh,
It's
cute.
super
My
cute.
channel.
keep doing this whole show.
To my left, not your grandma's grandma, except for those rare cases in which she is your grandma's grandma, seizing hard on a celestial thing. It's Rosie Beastie.
Ah, I'm churning space butter.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's not what it is.
That's fine.
It's exercise.
Oh, it's a shake weight. Great.
It's a shake weight, but at the end you have ice cream.
Yep. That's how babies get made.
In space. To the left of my left, emerging lethargically from a mist shroud. Kafristra.
Okay, shake weight for you.
What's this now?
Yeah. Shake weights for all. Now,
What happened?
gathered throng, special friends. Where are we? You are in Red Larch, which is where you live. Indeed, that's the seat of the Desserin Valley branch of Acquisitions Incorporated. There is a team currently that does have an exclusive license to that region. That is your team, housed in the quaint, sturdy, drawn and courtier inn. It's just in. If you're coming up the long road from the south, just take the first right. It's going to be the first big building you see on the
And
left.
if you look to your left,
Your left or my left?
God's left.
God's left. Okay.
His own left.
Well, we know he lives at the North Pole.
lives in the magnetic north.
And so, gathered friends, what has transpired since last we saw our heroes? First, we should probably take a moment to cover anything Donaar Blitzen may have seen on his pilgrimage return home to Janar.
So timeline-wise, this took place before Waffles Inc.
Before Waffles Inc., you popped out real quick. You missed the
Bundle of joy, a little 8 pound, 5 ounce, glistening, smiling, ready
right
to
out.
embrace the world. Pop right out.
damp.
Damp.
So you
Viscera.
Indeed. So you missed the last episode of the game because you were on your way to Janar. Obviously, you had to replace the sharpening scale for your sword. That was also true.
Okay.
But certainly after the events where you managed to protect the city of the town of Red Larch. Indeed, maybe it's a Thorpe. I think it's slightly larger than a Thorpe.
Let's hope so.
I
would
think
hope,
I
yeah.
don't think it's Thorped here. I
How
think
many
it's-
buildings do you need to have to be a Thorpe?
Yeah, we'll have to contact the Thorpe Council. But essentially, what you were able to discover in this place is that it probably had some kind of an answer for you connected to the fact that apparently folded up inside you, according to some kind of divine mysticism that is quite frankly above Donaar's pay grade, there is some kind of draconic god folded up inside there. The first time you were even aware of its presence, you had to be reminded, indeed, by the blue head of Tiamat. So there was a lot to feel and unpack there. Literally, one of the things you had to unpack was a god. So that's true.
As
Tell me
it
about,
goes.
Indeed. So tell me about your preparations for your trip north. You don't have a spell that can take you there instantly.
No. Donaar has found his god. I think in his headspace he would be...
It was in him the whole time.
It was in him the whole time. This has been a big motivating factor for him, trying to track this god down. He would probably be very confused, try to access it again. I have to imagine, like, in the dark moments of the night, trying to, like, see if he could draw him back out.
It's like Spidey.
Just like, hey, how'd you get... Come back out. To no answer, to no avail.
Precisely 0.
But he's got...
Not an echo.
He...
It's like you're trying to figure out where he would go.
Yeah. Eating spicy foods. Just trying to get any action he can.
Trying to tease him out.
He's like, oh, is that Bars Malus or is that indigestion?
Healing bush, probably, was consulted.
Multiple times. He's getting all tense. If he were, so this was in the quest log of Donaar, finding Vars Malus was one of a couple. So he would, if he's going back to Janar, he's packing up everything. He's assuming he's not coming back.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. He was looking for Vars Malus to return back to Janar. And when he left Janar, he has only been gone for about a year, and he had been wandering around. And he joined an adventuring party because he thought this might be a better way to track down leads. He's always had his little personal objective the whole time.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. Big banner
Good job. Yeah.
across the aircraft carrier, and he's going home.
So he just Irish goodbye? Like, he told Catherine.
Apparently,
Goodbye,
look,
Louis.
No,
it.
gave him a little kiss on the forehead
Yeah.
and took everything he had and left.
Honestly, are you trying to say that doesn't sound like Donaar?
No, it does, but
It's Donaar. It's
still.
Donaar
Look,
AF.
I'm just going with what I'm given.
I think this is Donaar
It's
AF.
good. It's a good thing none of us had any affection for you whatsoever.
No, had Janar been in, let's say, his right mind, he would have made an emotional, teary goodbye to everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
Really draw it out.
Like the child he is. Yeah, he would draw it out. It would have been tears and
Each of us would have had to throw a different goodbye party.
yeah, that's what it would have been.
You're gonna miss me so much.
Yeah. Oh, you're so blessed to have had me in your life.
It's like, end of Wizard of Oz when Dorothy's leaving. It's like, oh, Tin Man. But like, she's just talking about how great she is.
Yeah.
oh, Tin
Yeah.
Man, I'm amazing.
You're going to miss me most of the
Oh
day.
man. All the joy I bring to you.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
I take it with me.
Here comes the rain.
So
yeah.
you have your favorites strapped on the
he
back.
empties
of this
out his
thing.
room and then says, "Deuces, nerds."
But you
Yeah.
whispered it to Kathris
I
when we
think-
were all occupied.
He
think
kissed it onto his forehead.
Yeah, the way we could play that is when you came down to say
retcon
goodbye
that.
Yeah.
was you had already moved everything out of your room.
Yeah.
And so you were traveling light when I saw you, but that's because all your stuff was outside already.
He loaded up the cart, forgot one thing,
Yeah,
saw you on the way
exactly.
in, and he was like, "Oh yeah, bye."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had to.
Yeah, eye contact. So he's like,
Awkward now.
Now it's a whole thing you have to manage.
Now it's become a thing.
That is basically it's a fair way up, several days journey up the same long road that you travel on the rest of the time. Just once you get up past West Bridge, the same sword mountains that the ill-fated wedding were adjacent to, they reach up around to the right, and where they near, and then they're sort of abutted by the Crypt Garden Forest just south of there. But Janar is out near the long road. And so even just traveling the main roads, you can begin to see it rising up in the distance. And it has the sort of traditional, the traditional dragonborn city, something like the corrupted version that you saw in Scala, where there's very, very hard divisions between social classes. That's not the typical route. Typically, it just has to do with where you are at in your personal journey. Tradesmen, as they gain rank, they're sort of purified as they go up to the mountain of the glittering dragon king, Vars Malus, who of course represents the most pure point in this continuum. But the banners that hang over Janar are the banners of Scala.
Uh-oh.
The banners that hang down reference Scala as the primary insignia and Janar as a kind of sub or vassal state.
That's not good.
Yeah.
What happened here?
So Janar is a walled-in city
Exactly.
of sorts. There is a
It has gates. It has gates down at the base.
favelas that are
Yeah.
outside the gate, and then the proper boundaries of the gates, kind of
The
like,
real town.
yeah,
Exactly.
They exist on the edge of the town, kind of like barnacles.
How long has it been since you've been back?
Since we started the campaign.
Since we
about a year and a half.
Well, so Donaar had been gone for almost a year before he joined AI.
Okay.
So,
So
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good solid 2 years.
Yeah.
What's he feeling once he sees the gates?
Trepidation, very nervous, even though he's coming back with, the answers he was looking for. Like, remember the other time when he was, we were going towards in that direction and he
Yes.
started freaking out?
Yes.
Like, he's still freaking out. Even now when he's like coming correct,
Yeah.
he's still freaking out.
Is he panting like a dog going to vet?
Yeah, less so, but but he's not looking forward to seeing his family. He's not looking forward to being there again. He doesn't have a lot of great feelings and associations with Janar.
Okay.
But there is a sense of obligation pushing him along.
Interesting.
So he's fighting that, and then his nature to run away. Maybe there's something inside, something tugging at him, something godlike saying, "You know, I gotta go back." Maybe he just thinks there is. Maybe he's using that as an excuse. Maybe he's just like, "Oh, I run away. Oh, but I'm just doing Varg Melis' will. He's inside me. So this is decree. This is lordly decree." Right. But he'll go to the gate to get answers.
Okay, so as you're riding through the sort of favelas that are built up around the sort of accrete outside the primary wall and sort of create the sort of breakwater between Janari society and the larger world, they are completely empty. Like you're traveling, like it looks like law was laid heavily on this external area. So you're walking through torn sheets.
At one point took up residence in the favelas, so he would go to his old house and see it empty, and that would freak him out big time.
Yeah, this like I say, you can't find a soul in this area. There's damage in some cases, it looks like, from siege weaponry.
Well, that's not cool. We're friends. Friend-ish.
Skull and Janar.
Yeah, well,
Kind of.
we helped them. We, C-Team, helped them.
Well, we didn't help him good enough.
Yeah, apparently. Those TMI cults. All right. So he keeps going.
So you approach at the outer gate, and you can see guards up along the gate. Like the door itself, even in midday, is solid shut.
Well, he would. I mean, he's still royalty in this town, so he would try to get in, try to hail a guard.
Exactly. So, tell me what you say.
What does he see any guards?
Not currently, but obviously the guard posts are there.
Yeah.
On each sides of the three entrance gates.
He would try to open the gate. He would just walk up like it was unlocked.
Oh no, like it's his.
Like it's my house.
It's his door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A guard comes out onto the promenade that looks down and says, "Citizen?"
Something like that.
Says, the gate is closed for the wedding.
Open this gate.
Under whose authority?
Under the authority of the royal house here.
He looks over the edge and squints his eyes and says, "God, there's so many of them."
He says, "I am a prince of Janar, and you'll open this gate."
Damn.
He says, "Prince who?"
Prince Donaar
Has
returned.
There's a laugh from inside the guardhouse.
Yeah.
And the other one comes out and then just looks down the edge and just points. Just points at you and slaps his fellow on the back.
Do they look like Janari or do they look Skalin?
You do not recognize these even as younger lads.
Okay.
You think there may have been a changing of the guard. The same way you might change the locks.
Skalins were not copper. So are they copper? Can I discern?
They are copper.
Okay.
But they are not. You don't recognize them from the gate force.
And Donaar wouldn't know every guard, especially the ones that are at the edge of town.
Do they seem unusually young?
Quite young. Thank you, psychic projection of Rosie Beasting.
So they are pointing and laughing.
I'm sorry.
That would just make him mad. No one likes being laughed at.
Yeah.
Let's try the door again. I said open the door.
He says, why come back? Why come back? A month ago would have been a great time to come back.
This has nothing to do with you. Open the door. I need to talk to my family.
The two guards here are they can hear the sound of footfalls from the post, and an older gentleman in something more like a traditional regalia comes out and shoos them away, like he's basically taken the sword off the belt and he's just shooing them away with the hilt. It's like birds.
It's just like you get cats out.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
your
Like
stoop or whatever.
he's just like sweeping it back and forth.
Okay. Who's that?
But you don't think that you know him, but you
Okay.
think that he may know you.
Okay.
And he looks down and he just gives you a nod, and then he walks back away through the guardhouse. And after a few moments and a few more, I assume, fruitless tugs of the door, you can see the latch open part way, and he's able to open the gate a little bit, and you can see his face.
Okay.
And he says, "Son, this isn't your family's city anymore."
I say, what does that mean?
He says, "There is a wedding happening right now between your sister Prawn and Prince Shimmerscale of Scala. That connects the two families. Connects the two families, connects the two cities. I don't want to bury you today, son."
What happened to her fiance? What happened to her other fiance? She was engaged when I left to someone else.
Yeah, he says, "My read, and I only have 100 or so years on you. My read is that a fiance is not a problem for a man like Shimmerscale.
Okay.
And your sister's a conniver, son."
That she is. All right. Donaar would.
He says, "You can come back with 1,000 people, or not at all."
That's probably going to be not at all. Yeah. All right. Donaar would. What this means is ties into some other stuff. So Donaar would immediately tactically retreat because he would not want to deliver
It.
to them. Yeah.
The warhead?
So then he would. Yeah. Then he would bail. He would bail and go back to the favelas.
He says, "Sometimes you just have to drink that bitter wine, son." And then you see him, you can hear like armor plates squeaking against plates, and you can see his face get pulled away fast from the crack. And the door slams shut.
He's dead.
Ugh. Yeah, Donaar would leave. Donaar would take that information and leave. He would go to the favelas. He would go to his old house.
Was there anything you might have hidden there?
No, but he would try to think on ways to, like, he did not get along with his family. He did not have a lot of allies, but he had a few.
Yeah.
And he would try to think of how to get in touch with them. He would think on ways to get in touch with them. he would go back to the favelas and he would read the letter that he got.
From CD.
Yeah. And then being in his old house, reading a letter from CD, which is Cathra, her name is Cathra, he would then say, they lived in that house together. Fun note, getting some lore here. But he would be like, how did she know where I was? And how am I going to get in contact with her? So then he would go back to Red Larch because he would need to find out who gave him the letter so he could get a letter back to her.
Exactly. And then 10 hours worth of Waffles Incorporated,
Yes.
right?
Where you'd never know this was weighing on his mind.
Well, no, but that's
He's great at compartmentalizing.
but again, like that's how it should be. It's like, well, I guess this is what's happening now.
Yeah.
I guess I'll do this instead.
Yep.
But yes, Shadow Counselor Alyssa, it would be my great pleasure to draw specific attention to the fact that all of the players on the C team are using digital character sheets from D&D Beyond. Eventually, you'll be able to mouse over and see all the pertinent information if you want to be that type of dork, and certainly I encourage that. But for now, we're just going to link to them in the channel so that you can check out their goodies if you want to. All right, now we are back. Oh, indeed, it is the 1 year anniversary of the D and the Beyond. Now, so beyond that, a couple weeks have passed.
A couple years.
Yeah, a couple years.
And they're really far apart.
A couple weeks. What is a year but a 364-day week?
Are years impressive in D&D?
Yeah, I think so.
525,600 minutes.
So this is how it works. The last couple weeks have been very difficult ones at the Drawn and Courtier. At first, it seemed as though, aside from a scar, it seemed as though Brahma had mostly gotten away, was able to escape from the fullness of what she had encountered, but strange moods begin to take her from time to time, where she is not fully herself. She goes into fugue states. The first time, her hair was lost almost in its entirety.
Lost her hair?
Yeah, out in clumps.
Because she was ripping it out?
In some cases.
Whoa.
And then after a few days of peace, and Propha makes very careful note of this. Like she is keeping herself 100% up on this process. She calls Audra Courtier home because Audra and Brahma knew each other quite well. Brahma studied under Audra for a while. And left alone to speak for a while, ultimately a crash and screaming can be heard from her room. And the last thing you hear her say is, I almost killed her with this. And this is followed by a loud crash and the detuned sounds of snapped strings off the neck. After that sound, there is just a shared sorrow and weeping inside the room. And Propha is just pacing the floor down there in the lower way. You can see that she is wearing a little more armor than usual. She's always ready for war, like she's always ready to go to work, but she is she is prepared for something else right now. And she bids you all to sit at one of the tables. You can't remember her sitting very long in the front room. And she asks you all to sit with her. And Prophet says, I'm open to suggestions. I think that she is still sick with this. I think that she is still sick with something.
Yeah, I mean, Rosie, I'm looking at Amy right now, but that's like, Rosie's going to be looking at Walnut. You know her better than any of us do.
She says, when the Mercy Killers came, I could see them, and I knew what to do. How can we protect a house from these echoes? How can we keep her out of here?
Do you have any more power transfer necklaces?
No, that's not a common. I'm sure that they might do a brisk trade in some of the seedier districts of Waterdeep, but that's not a common item around these parts. Why do you ask?
It's just been very useful for keeping
I think so.
people in line.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
No,
her.
no, exactly. Like your face, yeah, like your Prophet's face and Walnut's face are the same face.
Yeah.
Like they're looking over at you, just like that would be your first thought is very unpleasant.
And then Cthulhu would not be offended by this, but more incredulous. Like, I've been collared pretty much the entire time I've been employed here, and I'm happy to be among you. This is a preventative measure, nothing more.
I don't know.
My sweet boy can't be trusted.
I don't know if I agree with that either.
Mistress,
Oh no.
Oh no! Total power exchange.
A total eclipse. Okay. We know a healer and promise that owes us a favor.
Do you think that this is within her power to heal?
Well,
no.
no. Prophet says all of the above, Rosie. All of the above. We don't have to find the one thing. I think everybody's got some idea.
What if I wrote to her?
Yeah.
We could at least, maybe she knows something.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
I'll start doing that immediately while we're having this meeting.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
paperwork of any kind, I know, is going to be what
Like, this
helps
makes me feel
Walnut.
better.
Yeah. This is a normal
Yeah,
thing.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like in the Blair Witch, where like the thing that makes you feel good is just pointing the camera at yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
this is a normal, fun thing to do in
It's
the
busy
woods.
work, yeah.
Don't
this
think
is-
too hard about the batteries.
This is exactly like the Blair Witch.
Yeah. No, it's like Whiffman. We got a real Blair Witch situation over here.
Keep them out in the river.
And so at that now that there's some momentum, Prophet stands up, pushes the chair out, and starts to pace a little bit. And she's like, "Come on, what else?"
Well, have you ever seen
What
anything
else?
like this before? You've seen war. Have you seen anyone who came down from a war situation who was feeling this way?
She says there was a time in one of the southern incursions where there was a Tiamat strike against our war encampment that required no soldiers of any kind.
Well,
She said, I worked with a ranger that we had used in that area before, and he was able to kill 10 before we put him down.
I see. What was he exhibiting?
She just looks up toward the room and says, "It's like a bad dream you can't wake up from. Just thought things that weren't true."
I see. So, is your theory now, and was your theory then, that there's some part still of Tiamat's evil
She says, would it be... Well, you'd know. Sometimes a bee stings and leaves something behind.
Yes.
We have to consider it. Can I get a perception roll from you?
Sure. I'm going to take one of my avantages, if I may.
Good thing you did.
That's a 5, and this one is a... All right, so we'll use the 5. So it's going to be nothing. Yeah, it's a 8.
It's just a little tickle. The idea that something would be left behind.
Well,
Just a little tickle in the back of your head.
what
When she says that, like you can sort of see, like you can just feel concepts begin to sort of arrange themselves, and they never quite lock in.
I have to go into my father's knife. I'll be back.
It's not helpful.
What about?
They're like looking at you as
No, is it like, do you do it like right there in the room?
Yeah.
So Propha like swipes at the knife.
Okay. Clatters on the ground.
Well, I'm just gonna. We know how to determine this. We
Oh,
don't,
okay.
we don't even
All right.
have to guess.
I don't think that's no
What's
any
this going to be, a
contest.
strength check?
Oh no, it is out of your hand in an instant.
Oh, yeah.
She says, "Cathris."
It's my father's study knife. Have I not shown it to you? It's incredible. It's a great knife.
She looks over at the knife like there's a dead rat upside down on the floor.
Explain it. Shut.
He goes into the knife.
He goes into the knife.
It's the damnedest thing.
My father created a sort of a pocket study dimension, and he hid it inside of a knife. And the only entryway is if you force it into your skull.
She says, "So there was someone else like you at some point."
Unlikely though it may seem.
Fortunately for all of us, yes.
She says, "I don't want you doing that here where customers can see it."
Oh, what is this environment right? What are we in right now? Is this the restaurant?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Like that would stop
Like
him.
I accidentally pick up a steak knife. Whoops.
She says, "You can have your magic library knife, but not."
Okay, yeah. Excuse me. I'll retrieve the
You
knife.
can do it, but not where we can see it.
Yeah, I'll retrieve the knife and then I'll go upstairs to my room to get in there.
All right. So you were writing to Wifmid.
Yeah, but I also know that, I mean, we have like a healer among us that, I say this to Rosie, as if he's not here.
As if he's not here.
I say, well, we have a healer among us.
He doesn't even know.
Recently,
Is he? Am I back?
who's,
And this is
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys were. I thought this is
no.
what he was doing while he left and came back.
No, it's just 2
who's
weeks.
recently come into new power.
Yeah, you have your flying form now. Yeah.
No.
Because Rosie's always making the mistake of assuming that Donar's the only healer, so she's like very conscientious. She's like, yeah, it's good. It's very cool.
You're special too.
No. And I turn to Janar and I go, Janar, is there anything in your, paladin ways that would be able to help in this situation? I mean, this is an evil that has taken over her. This
Yeah.
seems like something that would be in your...
It does seem like a very paladin situation.
Yeah, it seems like his biz,
And
right?
I mean, you now, and I say it really quietly, I'm like, have a connection to a god.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all excited about our connections to
Yeah.
gods.
Yeah. We've all got gods, all right?
Katriz is glad to not be missing this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't hear this.
Maybe a party pooper.
Can you get this from upstairs?
No.
Sounds great.
Well, no, like I'm headed up the stairs, and I think to myself, I should be able to just do it when nobody's looking. I just do it on the stairwell. I'll just make it so the knife is stuck in the wall or something.
Yeah.
And then
Tasteful.
so I get a little. I hear those drifting, these words drifting toward me.
Oh, yeah. And it's just like, so, but you're just like moving through the library, like your robes just brushing against your knees. Just
Yeah.
this, more of this.
I want to hear more about this though, like it legitimately. we've seen some pretty dramatic god transformations.
Oh,
and-
yeah, we can get into that when I return.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I'm only going to look one thing up and then come
So,
back.
so you're saying that you would like Cthulhu Straub, that is to say Chris Straub, but you'd like him to hold forth on an utterly abstract piece of divine imaginary minutia? You don't have to ask very hard.
All I want is to know how Cthulhu is feeling about the fact that this Vars Malus thing happened so blatantly in front of his eyes.
I think that following Waffles Inc., maybe you notice that Cthulhu is a lot more, like less personable, less like, hello friend, how are you? And just a lot more sulking. And it's just increased the last couple weeks.
Oh.
And there's some sensitivities around. Evelyn seems to be on good terms with her god. Walnut's got a god inside of her, goddess that she can communicate with. Donaar had one he didn't even know he had a god in there, and it did a good thing for us. Seems really nice to be on speaking terms with a decent god instead of a god that I don't even get to talk to, and I also have to deal with a garbage sanguilith that I don't want to deal with at all.
So I would like.
And you know what?
And another thing.
Another thing, I would love to have an Arcana check from you
Okay,
here in this Mystic Library.
I will do that. Ooh, I won't take advantage because that will be a 19.
So you're thinking about this, like you're going down all these direct divine incursions that have so recently just closed in on your life, and you think that at least part of it, like you have a meta moment of awareness, is that you think that at least part of it is you trying to deny in no uncertain terms the fact that you were yourself a vessel for a power like this as well.
Right. Yeah.
And that is inimical to your ordinary mode of being.
Yeah. And I haven't even, like, in all my years, like, I was pursuing the god represented by the and I had not encountered anybody else who had ready access. I mean, people would pray to their own, and power is conferred, but never one who would act through me, who continues to act through you, and now Donaar, in which one was apparently always, or who knows how long it's been hiding. So the fact that it's so close for other people.
Does Cthulhu feel like...
And what would it be like for you to not feel that when you had those thoughts?
Yeah, but wait. This is the other thing, though. You did have a goddess enter you.
Indeed.
It's true.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so you're just like being like picky choosy, where you're like, yeah, but it's not mine.
It's not my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
It's not.
This is the
she wasn't
exception.
good enough for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's this exception, right? And so when you have thought about, your interactions, like even now, almost a year after the fact of that avatar nature, you still inadvertently refer to Walnut as Maliki.
Right. Yeah.
It happens even now, and you think that is because it is still there.
Yeah, I think
That it's that you still have in the same way that, and this is when the superposition begins to arrange itself. It's just like curtain after curtain being removed to reveal more information. You have something, you think, possibly like what Brahma has. It's just that what you have
it's not harmful.
is not harmful.
Yeah, and as far as Malith not being good enough, it would be more like, that's great, but does it mean that I'm not good enough for my god to communicate with, to inhabit? It's not like I want this trash one. It's more like, is it me? Is it my problem? Yeah. No, that's a good way of putting it. Because in Cathriz's mind, I don't think he really is aware that he calls Walnut Myliki. It's more like if he had to think about it, it's like, but that's her name.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just true.
But that's
They
what
have
her
to be
name is.
together.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
They have to be close.
this is what I've discovered.
Yeah,
With this. Okay.
exactly. This is a. You think this is a key piece of information? The fact that you still have something like a counterweight in your belly, an echo of it that has never quite left, and the only difference is that Malith doesn't have the aims for mortals that Tiamat does.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have the schemes. She has her way, certainly. The Toril she presided over her with her lover Maliki works very differently than perhaps the way power is accrued in the modern world, but it was a system and it allowed for individuality and will.
Whoa, sounds like a pretty good guy. Who said that?
Do you think would Cathris be able to like contact this part of
Would be able to
Malith?
speak with Malith?
Yeah.
I don't know. We could find out.
Because then Malith might be able to help us figure out how to get Tiamat out of Brahma.
So yeah, at this realization, I would come back from the knife, come back down.
Just on the stairs, right?
On the stairs.
Just
yeah.
like unfold right out and then just grab it, like no look, right?
Yeah. If somebody was coming up the stairs, just bump right past them. That's fine.
Okay, not notice.
Yeah. And I'd return to this table where you're meeting, and I would be quiet. I assume you guys are speaking to each other right now, and I'm just here, and I would be just like, you would catch me looking at you pointedly, and I would kind of, when we make eye contact, I'm like,
It's Richard Iowati, is what you're saying.
yeah,
It's the ultimate Richard Iowati experience.
Yeah, and I would look at you and I'd go, Cathris.
what? Yes.
Is and I'd go, something's obviously wrong.
It's easy for me to tell.
What we're here to solve. It's what we're all here working on.
Okay.
Walnut.
And then Walnut kind of just she goes, did I do something?
Oh, that's so great. That's so great.
Cathris, I say,
Well, now you fucked up.
you couldn't. You couldn't. Everything is fine. And then, so, like, what's this? Is everybody just looking at this interaction, or are you talking
now
about
we
the
are.
soft
For
stuff?
you now, you might be, but I think that I think that Cathris is probably over perceiving it.
No, we're all staring at you.
Oh, okay.
Now it's fucking weird.
I had a goddess inside me one time, and it seems like there was an echo left, but it wasn't a harmful echo. The question is, does Tiamat have any similar relationship to a god? Is there something that could be attacked from, in the same way that your goddesses acted through us? Could we use that knowledge? Who does Tiamat love? Anybody know that?
Tiamat.
Go back in my knife.
Yeah.
I mean,
The Great Loves of Tiamat.
No, exactly.
Volumes 1 through 8.
Just get the big book of Tiamat.
I mean, you don't know how to excise those echoes. Those are things that we've found beneficial so far.
I don't know if it would help us solve it, because it's not something I'm looking to remove. But understanding it might help us figure out what echo is in Brahma.
Can use divine sense.
Tell me about it.
Well, I mean, divine sense traditionally is just you can detect good and evil in a 60-foot radius, but maybe supercharged with a god that specifically doesn't like the god remnants that are in Brahma. There might be
Oh yeah.
something there.
This new Donaar, Daddy like.
He's like thinking before he acts.
Daddy like.
Pretty wild.
I think that's a fucking awesome idea.
Yeah.
And you have all your shit right. Like you know exactly what to do.
Thanks to this great.
We don't got to do
D&D
that.
oh.
I'm just saying like you.
I thought you were just serving it up. I'll hit it. It's there.
Listen again. It's in the fucking stands.
There's
You really
great
gotta hold that
D&D
one.
Beyond app. Everyone should go download it. It's amazing. Yeah, thanks. It's all right here on this iPad. Well,
Yeah.
historically, it's I can detect the presence and the severity of celestials, fiends, and whatnot. But if we wanted to put a little sauce on this,
Yeah, exactly. Dude, do you have a problem with celestials, fiends, earwigs, silverfish, mosquitoes,
Dry mouth.
eggs?
Old man's knee.
Old man. Young man's knee.
knees in general. So he'll
You
try to get a read.
right from down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It is plain as day. It's quiet, but walnut dawngrass and Cathris Draub they house something else. Like you can just see it. You can just see it in their bellies.
So when I try to read Brahma, I'm getting interference from them. It's
no.
radiating louder.
Did you go up to her room?
I thought we were all near her.
It's within 60 feet.
Yeah.
No, but you know about it. Mm-hmm. Like this is down here, and you're sensing this, and you can just. There is an oppressive, scaly palm of like revolting force from Brahma's room. And as you activate the sense, you can hear a gasp, like a loud gasp from upstairs.
I say, yeah, she got the mutt. She got a case of the mutts.
Does the gasp sound like pain?
It does.
I go running upstairs.
Yeah. So you come in, and there are just tears streaming down her face, and she's just clutching her. She's like down on her knees, just like clutching her belly, sort of like rocking gently forward and back.
I go kneel at her and do a good case of hover hands.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah, like
She,
like,
you can tell that she doesn't like. You can tell that she doesn't like want to be seen.
You have been supporting her and dealing with this for a few weeks now, right? So
Yeah,
you're like
2 weeks.
So this is something that you're kind of used to her behaving this way, I'm guessing.
yeah.
Right?
And so I'm there, and I can tell she doesn't want to be seen. And I just say, we're trying to figure this out.
She's nodding like, and it's interleaved with the
Right.
hinge of her body going back and forth.
And I say, it's still inside you.
Right. She grabs your hand and puts her other arm around you and just squeezes.
Okay. I give her a comforting squeeze back. And I'm like, trying to be really tough for her here. And yeah, I'll just do that. Occupied.
When you
but it's
run up there,
Yeah. It's there. Like this is literally the sort of thing you were trained to destroy.
well, yeah. So I'll follow behind, but not right on her heels.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll also
You're gonna be cool
grab
about it.
Cathris.
Yeah.
And pull him along. And when we get to the doorway and see that happening, like, so there's I'm trying to deal with like the big info dump from Donaar too, because there's now 2 weeks later.
Yeah, he's like,
So like
he's in mid process.
he's been processing this for a while, like, and he's been trying to evoke this thing. He hasn't told everyone about the wedding that he can't go home at the moment either.
Yeah.
I want to just
has to be that way.
just to put a cork on that little thing too. I want to think that he would have sent a letter or some sort of missive to Omen or to the Home Office,
Really?
to try to figure out how he got that letter from Cathra in the first place, because his new stated mission is to find her.
So
Anyway,
he sent it
just to get that out of the way.
he sent it via his own channels. You did not
Timeline-wise,
you did
yeah.
not send it via the Documancer.
No. I want to think like maybe there was a fun little scene where he interrogated he's keeping this in-house for the time being. And also he sees you're dealing with stuff too. You got your Brahma issues, so you don't want to bug you. But
Exactly. So
maybe he smacked around the delivery boy at one point too. Where'd you bring these letters from? You brought me a letter like, I don't know, a couple months ago. You remember? No, I don't.
What's the name of the kid who encountered the dragon the first time? But that's the delivery boy.
Again. He's now a delivery boy.
Brittle?
Yeah.
you just everywhere he turns, you're right there.
Yeah. You again. How'd you give me this letter? So,
Chicken from my dream.
So
Bok. But anyway, so we get to the threshold, and you see this here.
yeah.
Is there anything that, like, because Donaar, every time he gets a moment, he's like, come on, give me something. I know you're in there, give me something. Is he getting any of that? Does he feel like he can fix this?
Not by himself, you don't think.
Okay.
But around you, like near you, it is smaller.
Oh.
The weight of it.
Oh.
The closer you get. And you can sense this too, just now that you're aware of it and conscious of it. Seeing Walnut here in this place and in pain, the urge that you have, and it's up to you however you would do it, the urge that you have is to comfort her. Like, and you know that it's like it's from you, but it's guided by this other force. You think that Malith is responding to this?
I think Donaar would also say, because he drug you up there after he did Divine Sense, and he would try to grab Walnut and pull you both aside and say,
If Walnut was loud.
I can...
She's pretty despondent.
I think I can fix her. I can... There's something going on, but you need to know that I can see beyond sight. I'm tapping into something big, and there's something big in her, and there's something going on in the both of you too. Just...
Are you going to destroy all this, or what is the nature of what your god would do?
I can sense through the glory and radiance of Vars Malus the presence that's in her, and there are presents, beautiful gift-wrapped presents in both of you.
Would Janar think that they're pregnant or something?
Yeah.
This is in their bellies.
Congratulations.
God
I've got
babies.
great news.
Just as an aside, Rosie and Prof are still downstairs. And Rosie's got a cup of tea.
Yeah.
and Audra's there too.
And Audra's downstairs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
Okay.
so Profa is the hair is definitely, she doesn't have a lot of hair.
Yeah.
But euphemistically, it's down.
Yeah.
She is seated out front, pretty loose crowds this time of day. But you can see her arm is around. Her arm is around Audra. Audra's legs are folded, and she has just a cup of hot tea, sort of held against her chest.
Yeah. Rosie's pretty quiet, and she's sipping her tea too. And she kind of casts a look at the two of them. She goes, "Y'all got any gods living in you?" No, me neither. Anyway, that's it.
Oh, I thought you were casting the side eye at Audra.
Oh, yeah, we know we know something about Audra now.
Here,
We heard
so,
it. Yeah. Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
So you say that there's something living in us.
I say, I'm feeling the same radiant presence in her. I'm feeling not the same, but of that ilk in the both of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the divine.
Yeah, on the divine scale. This is Vars Malus, the glittering king, telling me this.
It's not me.
So my goddess.
Not me. I think you guys are great, but he's
Right.
got a different opinion.
Here, Josh, if you would be so kind.
Oh wow.
So Cathris, the nearer you get to Walnut, that sort of urgent urge of care.
I got it.
That's me, the urgent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, what's up? And it's just this, but it's just like it's their emotions that feel alien to you. And
Happiness, sadness.
Well, it's like,
Exactly.
Chris feels them, but I've made a career of ignoring them.
yeah, exactly. But they're there. But it's like a procession now. They're just marching down your main street with big bass drums. There are horns. It's like the enthusiasm of like the high school pep rally. And there you can hear a voice just in your blood, just boiling up from deep inside you that says, I will heal her.
And I recognize, is this voice my own?
No. It is a woman's voice, just infinitely calm and assured.
And I know, and I'm aware that the her being referred to is Walnut or is Brahma.
It's not.
It's not clear.
Those are the words.
I mean, I guess there's an interest in both of them to be healed.
Have dialogue.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna.
Speak.
It's not just a single voice. I'm aware that there is.
Oh no,
a consciousness to speak.
It is within you, and you can feel this resonant energy recalls the grove in Tribor, where you and a Meliki enriched walnut were in a perpetual hug.
Fortified. Yeah.
Indeed, couches were summoned, and hugs were applied.
I would say, as though I'm talking to myself, but how do I heal her?
I say, I'll heal her. I said
how?
I'd heal her.
No,
I know.
You're just healing.
But it's like, dude, I just said I'd heal her.
Yeah, I mumble it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I heal her?
It says, I will heal her.
Yes, but how do I do it? He thinks that the voice is from the same.
Oh, it's from the same mind.
Yes. This is a part of my mind I'm talking to right now.
Exactly.
But how do I do it? Other
Exactly.
part of me.
She says there is a small version. There is a small way of doing it. And you may benefit from this wisdom. It says, let me show you. And you feel very strongly that you should approach Brahma.
Oh, okay. So at this, I will look up and I'll approach Walnut and just.
You do not see Walnut.
Oh, I do not. Is this all internal?
Yeah, you see the image of Meliki kneeling down, and you can see in front of you this writhing mass of shrieking heads.
I don't imagine that I feel fear.
No,
I know
I don't think
what
so.
needs to be done.
Exactly.
There's a knowledge.
Yeah, it says You don't need to know. Let me show you, and you will know.
Okay. Then I approach this mass.
And as you do, the heads just begin to snap back and forth, but they don't. It's comical in a way. It's like it would be like a child trying to address an armored soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And the closer you get, the smaller it gets. It just shrinks down into nothing, down into a pinprick. And the voice says, hold her.
I do. And I do.
And,
wordlessly.
And as soon as you make contact with Brahma's body, which you think may be screaming, it's
Somewhere
possible.
Far away.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
You have to entertain the possibility that it's happening.
The rest of us are like, what?
Your hand is the conduit, and this presence leaves your body and displaces Tiamat. And she says, this is how you may do it. Thanks, Josh.
Oh.
Wow. So, and you can remember that displacement concept before. I mean, you've been studying this exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at these ancient Vistani rituals, you're wondering about how the rings themselves can be leveraged.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of displacement, not in a physical sense, but in a divine sense. Remember that these rings communicate a sophisticated synchronicity between divine magic and material. And you wonder if there is a way to use a divine displacement to eject Maleth from the Sangolith. So having seen this take place in the smaller fractal curvature, you wonder if there isn't a more massive ritual to scale that might free Maleth and then ultimately the
Mm-hmm.
And it was all modeled for you by this entity.
I'm aware intellectually of these ramifications. But there now, so I stand up. What do I perceive?
Yeah,
What do
she
you
is.
perceive?
Yeah. So she is asleep. So what has happened over the last couple minutes is that the nearer Cathris got to Brahma, the more it was the darkest before the dawn, sort of 80-20 scenario. And until he knelt and held her, and then in an instant, like in a snap, she was asleep.
Okay, so I stand up.
And you don't detect any Tiamat.
I was going to
presence
say,
here
so
anymore.
we were having a hallway powwow, and then you get
He started, yeah,
and just
he starts
go
to just
possessed
blank.
and walk away with divine sense too. So I see that went
You
away.
see,
Do I still sense what I sensed in him before, though?
no, you have absolute awareness of this. Like you're seeing this sort of with this novel mode of sensing. And there's nothing. It was basically like you have a dim awareness of yourself. Like your own divinity is largely hidden from view. Like you would think that it would be
Yeah.
really, really clear to you, such is the cleverness and cunning of Vars Malus, that he was able to fold himself and hide in this way, even from yourself. But there is no evidence of Tiamat at all. There is, and the transfer from Cthulhu is complete. There's no echo of it in him anymore.
So the glow that I saw in Walnut and Cthulhu, or that feeling, I'm aware now that it's transferred from him to her.
True.
Okay.
So when
Well,
I
would tell Walnut that.
I look at Cthulhu and I am sad.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
No, I am really sad.
I just thought of this, and I will deliver it. I don't even need to write it down. So Cthulhu stands up, puts on what is a false version of the genial affect.
Like, wears it.
Yeah, wears it, and says, "I was a conduit. I am a sieve, a means of moving divinity from one place to another. I am a road, not a home." And I straighten up and I go back to my room.
Oh, buddy.
I got those tingles though.
Walnut opened her mouth and she had something to say to Cthulhu.
So sad.
I know. She opens her mouth like she has things to say to him, and then sees him leave, and she closes her mouth, and she like stiffens up and just stares at Brahma.
Do you feel differently toward him now? Like, do you feel like something's different about him?
She feels like something is lost, and she's incredibly sad. Like she can't help herself. I'm getting sad. I know.
It's
sad.
fucking incredible.
like something's
really cool.
something's lost. And yeah.
But do you feel it now in Brahma?
Yeah, it's there, but it's almost like in the moment right now, like it feels like she's not used to it. Like it feels wrong that it would be there.
Right.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like that's the feeling that has for a year now has been in Cthulhu, and so then for it to be moved to Brahma, it's like that's not where it should be.
Yeah, so there's like a wrongness.
For right, I mean immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Donaar would see you were sad and walking away. Just be like, you didn't have to. I could have done that. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to.
Cthulhu would just pat you on the arm and like, probably.
Still got my God in me. Don't patronize me.
You gotta sleep. You gotta go sleep.
I got gods for days.
Okay.
So what happens next? What happens in the room?
We take a break so Amy can go cry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. The break is nigh.
What happens in the room? Yeah. So, I mean, Brahma's just sleeping. So, I think,
Like hard.
yeah, I think Walnut is, now there's like this commitment thing where it's like before it was like this choice where she was like really choosing to kind of be with this person.
Right.
And now it's like with this echo of Maliki in her and this echo of Malith in Brahma, it's like there's this faded thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so now
Does Walnut not like that? She might not. I wonder.
well now it's like
Because she's still like in her teen years, right?
well she is wondering like because she doesn't really know what just happened.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, did Malith even choose Brahma? Like, is Brahma like worthy of Malith? Basically.
Wow.
I mean, like this is a lot to process.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Cthulhu proved himself worthy of Malith, but she doesn't know about Brahma, and it's just like this is just a lot of confusing stuff right now, and so she's like, allowing herself those thoughts.
So it's like Yeah, because Brahma, Malith was displacing Tiamat, not because Brahma was a worthy vessel, but it was required to get
Right.
Tiamat out of there.
Yeah.
Right, but it's like now, if she is to house it, like, is she worthy of it? Like, would especially like when it comes to like the EPA and everything, is this like, is this a thing that is she going? Is Malith here? Is this echo of Malith like here forever? Is she like the embodiment of Malith? And so yeah, Walnut is just watching her sleep.
Yeah.
And just kind of stewing in all of this. But I think after a few minutes of that, she'd be overwhelmed. I think she would go down and see Rosie and just be like,
Donaar was going to with Donar's situation.
Well,
here.
you're
Rosie,
staring
what
at
do you do?
Brahma, and you walk to your room, be like, oh, go tell Rosie what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you come down and join us.
yeah, I think I just like sit down like really heavy in my chair and just be like, oh.
Rosie, of course, like we've all been living in this for two weeks, right? Of the screaming and the drama and the like throwing of objects.
Is she over it?
Rosie's like, shit's not, is she over it? Because there's more respect for her than that.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
clearly going through some shit. But Rosie would still, like, she would have like prepared when she saw you come
I was
down.
gonna say you would have got the download
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
quick
Yeah.
when
So
Donaar got there.
there's a
like,
hot-
like
Yeah.
before you got to the bottom of the stairs,
It's been like-
you've done the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah. Ooh,
and then,
this is-
and then
there's a hot cup of tea waiting for you, just how you like it, which is mostly just like dirt and dried leaves.
It's a little bit of
And-
mud.
Yeah, and she goes, she says, "Is it done?"
I think it's done.
Whew. Okay, that's it. That's all.
Yeah. Profa looks over to Audra, just sort of in the crook of her arm, and says, let's do it just in case. And Audra stands up, goes over, grabs her lute from the small stage by the fireplace, and then she heads out the front door, and then you see her walk in front of the window playing a song, and then you see her do this 3 times, like walk around the house playing the same song 3 times. And then she comes in and Profa says, "We good?" And Audra nods, and then goes and just takes up a place on the stage and just starts to play.
What's the song?
It's like some kind of award.
Yeah.
Potentially, that's what it seems like. It seemed very specific. It seemed very specific.
I
The-
get knocked down.
yeah,
Yeah, Chumbawamba. That's what she plays.
She's playing tub thumping.
yeah. The
Praise
door,
his holy name.
Thumper of tubs.
the door swings open, and you see an Air Janazi hair dancing in a sort of invisible wind.
I'm guessing we don't see a lot of Air Janazi.
No, it's pretty rare out this way. You tend to see them on the coast or up high. It is Fen from Team Naiad,
Yay.
who has somehow, some way, found her way into the Drawn and Courtier.
Your best friend.
Best friend.
Says her.
Best friend.
The surly teen has arrived. Are you
That's
still
where
up in
we're
your
at.
room?
I'm still up in my room, yeah.
And there's really loud music playing up there. We're like, God, oh boy.
My Chemical Romance.
my alchemical romance.
My Chemical Romance.
She says, "Where's Cathris?"
It's right in the door.
Yeah, he's going through some stuff right now.
What stuff?
You'd have to ask him, and also like prepare about 3 hours because that man does not tell a short story.
True. Now, he did request my presence, or he would have. He would have requested my presence. He was about to request
Why?
my presence. I just have a feeling. I have a feeling he was about to invite me. It's her job to feel that.
Yeah, that's right. Fen is the obviator. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can tell that she's like checking her math.
Yeah.
At some level, because the two of you shared a moment when you first met,
Right.
where she didn't know exactly. For everybody else, she had a pretty good sense of what she would do
Yeah.
to figure their shit out.
You're right.
And so there's some echo of that respect
Okay.
from that first meeting.
Okay,
And
cool.
so she like furrows her brow and like just like checks her math basically. Says, "I'm very confident he would have requested my presence."
Okay. So Rosie will offer tea to Fen.
What tea?
Snacks. We've got a ginger and licorice here, which is my favorite, but I can spice it up for you in a different way if you like.
Do you have hard alcohol?
Yes, Fen, that's the spice that I'm referring to, yes.
Would it be possible to forego the tea and simply have the alcohol?
That's my preferred way of drinking tea.
That's what I want to offer. There's a formality.
So Rosie will actually prepare a little tray to bring up to your room, and escort Fen upstairs.
She sits for a little while and says, "You know, I would not boil ginger if I could help it. I would try to avoid that. I don't want to go into it, but don't make a habit of it.
Fair enough. Cross it off the list.
Not in late summer."
Okay. That's very specific.
Yeah, these actuarial tables that she possesses.
I know.
She says, "It's just trust me on this."
I will.
So the door opens, and I'm on my way out.
Oh.
I didn't realize you were coming up. And
Okay.
friend Fen, what brings you?
You brought me. Well, you would have brought me.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a suspicion that you were about to invite me to Red Larch for some reason.
Is this your girlfriend?
I don't know what it is yet, but I have every faith that we will survive to find out.
She's cute.
It is your job.
Oh, indeed.
I trust you implicitly.
Marvelous. I'll sleep here. And then she goes over and just lays on your bed.
You two seem like you're really hitting it off. Okay, well, this is for you. You let me know if you need anything.
Rosie's loving this.
This is the best thing. She closes the door extremely firmly.
She locks it from the outside somehow.
It's the key from nowhere.
The only room that locks from outside.
Actually, that does make sense for you.
Yeah.
That's right.
Give the choker a little tug.
Yeah.
For good luck.
Well, no, just to prime it.
Yeah.
Prime the pump.
Let's see. So
Fen says, "Are there dragons here?"
yes. Only one of a potential 5 heads, though.
Oh, the dragon. Mm-hmm. I'm losing my touch. Well, how many did you kill?
Just a single head. But it was enough.
Okay. All right. How many smaller dragons did you kill?
I don't think that occurred. That's just funny. You'd think we would be able to kill the smaller ones.
She says, and then turns away from you in the bed and goes to sleep.
And what do I know about Janazi? Do they get a full 8 hours, or do they trance, or what is their deal?
They rest. I mean, if I recall correctly, they go to sleep. But even against the pillow, there is still sort of sailing on this breeze.
Wafting in your face
Yeah,
while you're trying
exactly.
to trance.
She woke up like this. You know?
Yeah, what time is it? I was just going to go out. I was going to come downstairs.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You should just do it. You can't listen. You can't
Yeah,
change who you are just
I-
because you're in a relationship, Cthulhu.
It's true.
Again, she wishes. Yeah, I just shut the door to be polite.
Rosie is right outside.
Yes, Rosie.
Is everything going okay in there?
I will have to ask her when she wakes.
I don't even like what's she oohing about. This just conspiratorial oohing.
Just like hopeful. Yeah. Like, yes, that's good. Good news.
Oh, you wore her out quick. Why does she think that you would have sent for her?
I'm not sure. All I know is that she has a command of these probabilities, and there must be something to it.
Yeah, it's probably not a line. She probably just didn't miss you and want to come over and say what's up.
Well, there's always sending.
There
There are so
is
many
always
methods of
sending.
contact.
That's true. Are you doing okay?
Nothing's wrong.
Yep.
I will see you downstairs.
That is not gonna fly.
Do you just like? You tell me it's like an interrogation.
She's like poking your meat. She's like, "What's going on with you? What's different?
I will inform
You
you.
losing weight? You gaining weight? What's going on? Something's weird.
This is Grandma.
Yeah.
This is the other use for
Are you eating enough?
Grandma-mancy.
Are you eating enough?
Never,
like
but
2 charges.
Yeah. Just dial it off. Yeah. No, I never do eat enough.
That's true.
But things are, I mean, in what continuum? They are fine and they are not fine. That's all that matters. There's equilibrium.
Don't.
Well,
Do not Cathris at me. This is nope. What's different? What's going on?
well, it's just all this God stuff.
Don't get me started.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
And logic doesn't play as much of a role in it as I wish it did.
Yeah, that's fair. But also, there are things that matter more than what God possesses whom.
Certainly, knowing how they possess whom
Okay.
and how frequently.
Sure, yes.
And what information can be
Those are
derived.
sort of all the same thing. My point is, just because there is God possession happening that maybe isn't your favorite, I mean, I don't think that that's all that there is to life. I think you just need a little bit of perspective on this. This is obviously not going to work, but this is exactly what.
No, this is what Rosie is doing, and
Yeah.
I'm absorbing it politely.
Yeah. Just like, you sad old fool.
Well, no, so I'm like, I didn't grow up with this kind of familial relationship, but I can identify this speech when it is given.
You say that out loud?
Yeah. and I appreciate it, but it's not the part of my mind that needs to be addressed right now.
And this is so much of an emotional thing for Cathris to say that Rosie like wells up.
Oh no!
She's like,
No.
glad I got through.
Yeah, yes, and now, and like Cathris is also tearing up. You see, worthless. I can't read things as well now until they are dry. So, thanks a lot.
And it's just like individual trickles from individual stones gathering. It's imagine if you could play Plinko with water.
Well, I was going to say, like, to look at it, it's like watching a cold glass get
It's just
condensation.
it's just
There's
condensation.
no single rivulet. It's just like these like orbs of water, and then they begin to fall. Yeah.
Rosie immediately, like, her tears go away because it's so disgusting. She's like, oh, you have to stop it. No.
Gathered throng, Shadow Council, Mayor Levers, please you. We've reached a break. We're gonna have a break, and then we're gonna come back, and we're gonna play more Dungeons and Dragons because the C team is back. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere.
She was drawing plain as
Welcome
blood.
back to Test C teams. I'm your host, Jeffrey K. Horcrims. And these are all the same people who were here before. So, how are we going to live in this new post-Malith inside Cthulhu's world?
Why do you have to bring it up? Stop talking about it.
It's not possible.
How are we going to continue? I don't want to wait.
There's no point.
CT's over. So I'm trying to cheer everyone up. Look.
Yeah,
Gods don't leave Cthulhu without opening a window. Let's try to look for the bright side of things here, everyone.
I would believe that Walnut is at the table looking really despondent. And, like, she doesn't want to show anybody that she's upset, but she looks at Donaar and she goes, like, I don't know, how are you doing?
What do you got going on?
Yeah, like, she looks at him like maybe he'll entertain her.
You were gone for a minute. Where did you go? Like a week ago.
What a flip!
Walnut
Desperate for sensation.
She only speaks to other beings that have gods in them.
Too good.
Exclusively.
The club got smaller. Well, it's the same amount, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just different members.
Right.
Yeah, just dance for me. Like, I don't know. I got some stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my guy to respond. He's not talking.
And you vanished for a while, right?
Poking at
And
his stomach.
you
He won't. He doesn't show up in the room until I leave the room.
It's true, I've
What's
never
that
seen the
about?
two of you in the same room at the same time.
Right?
Did Donaar give us the breakdown of what happened in Janar?
No. He kept that.
He hasn't said anything about it
He
yet.
hasn't said anything. So he would have come back and then put all the stuff back in his room, I guess. And then
Yeah, it's all on
Yeah,
more.
his-
It's like 3 trips.
yeah.
So we're just all watching. We're not helping. We're just
No,
like
you're
watching
like,
you move
why are you
back
doing
in.
anything? You left? And like, because he wouldn't have told anyone he
Yeah.
left.
We were all like, I didn't even notice he was gone.
Just whispered to Cthulhu, I'm back.
I said it at the. I did mention that you had work to do. Yeah, you were going to take this on.
He wouldn't say, because he still doesn't, he's got a lot of complicated feelings about his family. I don't know that he would want to go back now. His whole thing was returning his god to his town.
Well, it was winning,
but now
right?
What?
Winning in a way.
Wow, well, winning's always a big thing. So I don't think he would bring it up, but now his new thing would be to find
Get the rest of this
Cathra
info.
from the letter. How did she know where he was? And then where did the letter come from? So he's hitting up Omen, trying to backtrack that. And then finding Sorsha now, if her town is taking over his town. I don't know if he would tell everyone though. I mean, I think he would.
Well, let's just ask. Walnut goes, what did you do? Where'd you go?
None of your fucking business.
That's fine. Let's just hear it. She goes,
that's fine, too.
Where did you go?
Oh, how would he put it?
Exactly.
I mean, it's still a big shell shock that he's got, that he's found this thing he was looking for. This big missing piece of his town is he's the key now, and now he can't go back to his town.
She watches him stare off into space, and she's
Yeah.
like,
For a while.
where did you go?
Where did you go just now?
I guess he would say that he, how they say you can't go home again?
Who says you can't go back?
They,
I'm sorry, I don't say that.
No, they say it, and they're right. You can't go home again.
Walnut looks at him and she goes, I'm sorry.
Walnut knows that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. She goes, I'm truly sorry.
Big mood.
We need to, big if true, we need to find Sorsha.
Well, we just left her.
Yeah, let's go back to Promise.
I don't think Promise
Still
is
be
the
there?
answer.
Maybe can you just cross out with mid on the top of that letter and just write to Sorsha instead?
Yeah. Didn't Sorsha promise that she would find you once a season?
Yeah. TikTok. I think it's my weekend coming up. Joint custody.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Dad's gonna give that kid ice cream.
It's just a matter of time she'll find you.
Yeah, I hope so. How are you?
Walnut looks at him and she goes, "Yep." Okay.
That doesn't seem entirely fair. He's confiding in you.
But
That's a walnut thing.
That's very
Yeah, that's a
that's
walnut.
totally a walnut thing. Like, you
walnut
never
thing,
tell me your
too.
thing first. That's
Yeah.
the walnut law.
Yeah.
That's funny that Rosie would say that. That's not entirely fair.
Yeah,
Walnut
that's
just-
definitely Rosie is saying that. Yeah.
Walnut goes, everything's fine. Brahma's better. We're all together. Everything's fine, right?
Okay.
This is the happiest we've all been.
Just so you, just to like set the scene, Rosie is listening to the three of you all just lying your asses off. And she can absolutely tell, like we've spent enough time together that she knows you're all being weird.
Oh, can I introduce something too? Is that Kithris is like I'm there at the table and it's like everything's fine. Yeah, I don't understand what the problem is, and it doesn't look right. And you can hear the occasional, but the face doesn't change. It's because I'm using Mask of Many Faces to look like happy Kithris.
Oh my God!
You can hear the sniffs every now and
Here's
then.
the occasional, yeah. The voice is maybe it's quavering from time to time, but the mouth movement doesn't betray that. It doesn't look right. It's like somebody dubbed the video, but while they were crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, Drow's got it right.
Does anyone want to know how I'm doing?
Yeah. How are you
Yes.
doing? Fine also?
She pulls out the Shadow Council symbol and she throws it on the table.
What's that?
What is that? Have any
What
of you
is
ever
it?
seen anything like that before?
I pick it up. It's got Omen's name on it, right?
Yeah.
I go,
It's a collectible, a rare collectible.
yeah.
Yeah.
I go, why do you have this?
Is
What's
this a
this?
missive from Omen?
Does this visually ring a bell for any of you?
And did we see in the
Wandering Crypt.
Wandering Crypt? Did we see that?
That's my question.
I don't know that we.
I don't
did.
think we did. I think it
Does
popped
it
up.
just me?
But you grabbed it. Like
It made sense to you.
Yeah,
Right,
or
yeah.
like you only identified it, or you scooped it up before we could see it.
Yeah.
Something to that effect.
Didn't I have it around my neck and you saw it?
Oh, that's true.
Like
Yeah.
you saw it because I used it for something that I can't
You had
remember.
it around your neck.
And I remember Walnut was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, you have a pendant
Yeah.
Yep.
that you can use to
Right.
communicate with these things.
Okay.
And I
Oh,
go,
right.
I've seen this before, but I don't remember where.
Okay. Yeah. So this means this has a particular meaning. And I have been working on this alone because all of you are caught up in some shit and I understand it. But I cannot figure out what to do about it. This symbol means that I am required, on pain of utter destruction, to kill Omen Drawn.
Rosie, that's funny, but I don't need cheering up. I told you I'm fine. We're all fine. Did you make this?
I didn't.
On
In
whose
some ways I did.
on whose authority?
So I'm using Eye of the Runekeeper on the
The symbol.
symbol,
So,
yeah. And I'm like, I'm not getting from this barbed S, kill person with name on reverse. Like
Right.
that's not what that means.
Okay.
It's just some kind of a logo.
Right.
Why? How do you know this?
So, DM, we've never really explained what Rosie's relationship is with the Shadow Council.
Well, other players don't know, and of course, the Shadow Council themselves, they have so many agents
right.
and servants, they can't possibly be expected to know each of them by name.
Of course. Yeah.
But they exert incredible power in the shadows, one at a time.
Okay. So is this related to what I have told you before?
Yes.
Okay. All right. How much of this would Rosie want to share with you guys? So Rosie would look.
Big day.
It's a real big day. Real
Yeah.
big, emotionally heavy day.
Big if true.
Rosie would be speaking to all of you, and I think also keeping a weather eye out for Prafa, who she definitely does not want to be hearing this. But she is speaking to everyone, but she's looking at Walnut. She's making eye contact with Walnut. And she says, if this were just the pain of destruction of me, then it would be no problem. That's an easy, I've lived a great long life. That's not the issue. This is not in a
To your health.
yeah. This is not self-interested. This is not my own sense of preservation. But if I do not carry out this task, there are going to be consequences to people that I love, people that I care about, more than one, an endless number of them, until this task is completed. And I can't let that happen. And this is a problem that I've been dealing with, trying to figure out. I've been turning it over in my head for weeks. I can't figure a way around it. And it seems like it would affect the three of you significantly. And so I figured honesty is the best policy.
Well, you certainly can't go through with it.
That is the assumption that I've been trying to operate under. Let's say let's say hypothetically, I can't go through with it. Then what do I do? How do I deal with this? Because this is not a joke. This is not a prank. This is real.
How did you get mixed up with people like this?
Grandmother, yes.
Yes, Donar's. Well, it was slightly shattered at the wedding. Now he's like, makes a little sense, I guess, after the wedding. But
There's a crone trail.
yeah.
I like how Walnut didn't even go there. I was like, well, you can't go through with it. It's totally fine, I guess, if this would be happening to you.
Did we hear about that?
No.
Did we tell them?
We didn't hear about
The wedding,
so.
no.
No, I don't
No.
We mentioned it in the little recap, but that was just a little
I think
jokey thing.
Rosie would have been like,
No.
Walnut and Guthris don't need to know
You
about
specifically
this.
said that when we were coming
that's
back.
right.
No, that's a
Yeah.
quote.
Yeah, let's.
Because we both said, like, we're not going to talk about what we did on that trip.
Yeah, what happens in those sword mounds.
No, Philip.
Audra is still playing
Yeah.
on the stage, but her eyes are locked on the surface of your table.
Okay.
Ooh.
Maybe put that thing away.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Rosie, upon noticing that, would be like, anyway, here we go, and secrets it away.
She just locks in, like this is the only actionable object. Remember, like in the old, like adventure games, like what you were supposed to interact with was always very obvious, unless they were trying to be mean.
Yeah.
Everything you had to interact with was so obviously not a part of the surrounding.
Rendered by different artists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It had that exterior line. It's like that.
Different palette.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, wrong. And it's not. And she's just watching you take it back. And as she sees you withdraw it, she looks at you with such sadness. Like she doesn't miss a note.
Right.
Like that part is continuing flawlessly.
What a professional.
But she looks at you with genuine sympathy.
So she and would Rosie, upon like just this visual interaction, Rosie would understand that Audra knows what that symbol means.
It definitely made an impression on her.
Okay.
So when Janar and Guthris ask who these people are and how you got mixed up with them, do you deflect or do you answer?
What do you think is narratively the most interesting thing to do here, Jerry? Should I keep this close to the vest or should I blow it all up?
I think you have to be Rosie Beestinger.
Okay.
So you tell me at this juncture in her life.
No. What? Okay. So to Donaar, she would be quiet for a moment and think about how she was going to say it. And then she would say, we all do foolish things when we're young. And in the pursuit of power and wealth, I think you do the most foolish things of all. And I did some foolish things. And now I have to pay the price for the rest of my life. And this is one of the prices I have to pay. And that's all I can tell you right now.
And are we at risk?
You're not at risk.
That's a start.
Yeah.
Something.
So we've been at risk this whole time? Just for knowing you?
It has to do with the people that I love. And I didn't mean to. I'm sorry about it. But, and she, at this point, like, she's not shy, but she is looking into her teacup studiously. And she says, I love the people at this table. And that means that you're in danger too. Kathris goes in the knife.
No.
Yeah. It's always a mess. Every time.
Every time.
Every single time. Exactly what I was talking about. Are you permitted these forces? I understand doing things you don't want to do in exchange for a kind of power.
It wasn't even that I didn't want to do them.
Grandmother.
TMI. And that's not light coming from me.
I love information. I love I.
Yeah.
More I, please.
Yeah.
TMI. Are you permitted?
PMI.
Are you?
Please.
Please more information.
Are you permitted to know the reason why? Because if doing that would serve some purpose, maybe that purpose can be reached through other methods.
That's possible.
Are you allowed to know what it would do for this force?
The source of these missives is so obscured I wouldn't even know who to ask. And I have a feeling that based on our recent incidents, that it's probably a power that I would not be able to negotiate with anyway. Now, that's not even, I'm not trying to even be vague or coy about that. That's her literally referring to the king of hell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, and we are fresh off of that.
Yeah.
I thought that he was quite personable.
Yeah, he
And
usually is.
He seemed to listen to reason.
Yeah.
And was concerned with loopholes in contracts, an absurd construct to govern a universe by.
Do you know what I find fascinating? Is that hell is literally ruled by lawyers. All of it. All of them are lawyers. This is not a joke. Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Go read it. Hell is lawyers.
What's a lawyer?
Top to bottom.
Worst thing you could do is pray to him and see if he'll respond. I mean, everybody's gods, talk to them all the time. There's no harm in just asking, trying to figure it out.
Hey,
So, what?
listen, I know you're in a dark place, but please don't pray to Asmodeus. You ding-dong.
It's just a prayer. I'm praying.
how it starts.
I'm praying to you verbally right now, and we're exchanging data. This is all a form of communion.
So you pray to just anybody now?
Oh, yeah.
Is that where we're at?
No, because they wouldn't listen.
It's a lot of moisture.
A lot of moisture on the show today.
Yeah.
Getting damp.
These
Show stays
waterproof
wet.
tablets are. It's not in D&D Beyond, it didn't miss a beat.
Rosie, grandmother. I'm going to assume if you brought this to us, that this is indeed very serious and that there's no way around it and that you've been struggling with this on your own, that this is a thing that you feel that you must find a way around. And you can't possibly do this thing. So we have to find a way to help you.
I will not kill Omendron. But this has to be resolved, or I'm not willing to deal with the consequences.
Can we... Omen is a lot more powerful than us. Can we consult him?
Maybe he could free you from this contract.
Hey, we can't kill him. I'm waiting for a letter from him.
I got a letter in the
What
mail.
about after the letter gets here?
At that point.
What is killing anyway? Could he be allowed to continue in some form of unlife? Would this satisfy this council? He could operate his business
Posthumously.
correct, right?
No.
Perhaps as a member of the undead.
Well, no.
It might even be better that way. You wouldn't have to eat or drink anything. You work 24/7.
Could we feign his death?
Yeah. Well, we need to know what the results of his death would be.
Well, now, can I get a perception check?
You certainly can. And I will take advantage on it. Ooh. Tasty 14.
Yum, yum, yum. Oh, God, it was so close.
It was so close. But that 14 will give me a 22.
Dang.
You see there are a couple birds hopping around on the sill of the front window.
Again?
Just like watching intently.
What kind of birds?
There's a sparrow
Again?
and a Stellar's jay.
Oh, Stellar Jay. They sound like pterodactyls.
Do they?
They do.
Can you do a quick
Yeah,
impression?
no,
No,
they're
I
like
can't. They're like, it's horrible.
these are awful birds. But yeah.
Okay.
And they're sort of like
Bing bong. That sounds just like it.
they're like they keep like they listen for a while.
Yeah.
And then one of them like bumps the other out of the way,
Yeah.
and then like just turns its head.
Yeah.
And then
bird stuff.
the Stellar Jay goes in and nudges it away. So they're competing in some bird game.
And I see this sparrow, and
Smart birds.
I have been plagued by a sparrow recently.
It's true.
And I
Hang on, I can go deal with this.
and I look at
Look,
Rosie
this is important, but that fucking bird.
and I go, I will be but a moment. And I get up. It's been a really hard day.
Yeah.
It's been a very difficult day. And the last thing I need are these two birds.
It just fucking snapped.
And Walnut snaps. She walks over and opens the door and speaks to Animal. And she goes, "Excuse me, small friends. What are you doing here?"
This is a private conversation.
The Stellar's Jay turns to you and sort of holds his wings out and says, "Friends, there is but one of us, daughter." And the sparrow is like trying to poke its head out from underneath the wings. He says, "It is I. I serve the Grove Keeper."
And I said, "What of your friend?"
"There is no friend. It is only I."
"And what of the sparrow?"
"What is a sparrow?"
Walnut goes over and calmly points to the sparrow and says, this sparrow."
"Oh, this strange creature. What magic is this?"
And she goes, "Please,
"It is a mouse, I believe."
no, sir, no more. Please, I beg you. What have you come here for?"
it is my task and mine alone to ensure that your affairs go well.
Well,
It puts a
okay.
talon at just palms, like the way you might palm a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It just palms the sparrow and just pushes it down into the planter out front.
God. Walnut looks at the sparrow and goes, Sparrow, what are you here for?
It was my task, my holy task, to ensure that the daughter's affairs went well.
Who? Who sent you?
The Grove Keeper.
And Walnut goes, I see no problem here.
Well, there is no problem yet, but you have a human's eyes. It may be that you could not see. There may be 5 problems.
Walnut goes, I have the eyes of any that I choose.
Hell yeah.
The sparrow is cowed. Yeah. The Stellar's J says, yes, you have been chastised, mouse.
Walnut goes,
Be on your way.
Walnut
Crawl
goes,
into a hole and eat of cheese
no,
or seeds.
no.
Ooh. Oh, snap.
Oh, what a burn. That bird burn.
Jesus. Everybody?
And she looks at the Stellar J and she goes, stop torturing the poor thing.
Jerry, you have to stop.
Well, that's the wings. He's got
Yeah.
Podcast, everyone.
It's just sort of a jaunty.
He's doing a little shuffle.
Jerry's doing this
Little
like
shuffle.
Charlie Chaplin pantomime. This
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's like C-3PO twerking.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It's
like
a very
C-3PO.
C-3PO pretending he's a crab,
Yeah.
doing this side scuttle.
Yeah.
Walnut says to the Stellar J, stop torturing the poor thing. And she says, both of you can certainly linger here if you've been sent by the Grove Keeper. You may tell her that my affairs are fine.
So you just hear it like in a loud chirping, trilling song. Like you just see like Walnut's back, but then out in the middle of the street, she is just chirping and trilling, and you can see a mother like walking down the street with her daughter, and she grabs her daughter and holds her close, and then begins to scurry off.
Rosie says, Angry Birds. The movie.
The movie. Starring Jason Sudeikis. And then she says, tell her
He says, "How is your nest?"
Oh, jeez.
What are you doing later?
my nest is fine. Tell the Grove Keeper that traces of the goddess linger here. Both of them.
The
Goddesses.
goddesses.
For the podcast, Jerry has not stopped.
Yeah,
So it is true.
getting more into it.
What is
Yeah.
true?
Well, there was a time when
Steam.
none would say the name of the other.
Maliki,
It's hypnotic. I kind of want to do it too.
Me too.
I'm gonna let you guys have it, and then I'll get back to it, but go ahead.
It's fun.
It's fun.
All right.
Do a little.
I look at the Stellar J and I say very pointedly, I say, both Maliki and Malith echo here.
Just a whistling cheer.
Well, you mean do the
Trills.
noise? Oh, I was like, what are you looking at me for?
I said, would you be so, would you be so kind? He says, I will carry these words back.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I say, and you too, Sparrow.
The sparrow gives the Stellar's J foot like a peck,
Yeah.
and then it's off, and then the Stellar's J is off after the sparrow.
I watch them go.
Dude, I love this Stellar's J.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is like,
New recurring character.
I'm writing him down.
yeah.
I come
What's
back
his name,
in.
Jerry?
Yeah, what's his name?
Is he going to be at the
Jason.
at the bar?
Jason.
Jason.
I get it.
Stellar's Jason.
No, he'll have a real name.
I come back in. I sit heavily in my chair. I look at you, Rosie, and I go, well, the birds are no help.
Well, we've considered every source.
really scraping the barrel. But she says it so seriously. She goes, well, the birds are no help. Harumph.
That was my last remaining idea. Oh, well. I guess we kill Omen then.
No.
I'm trying to figure out how indignant Donaar would be
About?
This conversation?
of that they're all in danger and they didn't know.
Oh.
He
And
might be.
because like he's paladin. I mean, he's the one of the four, ironically, who is doesn't kill indiscriminately.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like he's the one who doesn't default to murder, and then he finds out that Rosie was murdering people, and now they're all in danger via their acquaintance that they had no idea about. But I don't know how indignant he would be. I feel like this is Donaar making his big boy turn.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what's like these
Yeah.
these big arms, I suspect, are folded
Yeah,
on this
I
chair.
think so too. I think he's
Is he mad at Rosie?
yeah.
Let's hear
Let's
it.
hear it.
Ooh.
It's something to the
tell.
effect of
Yeah.
not mad, like
Disappointed.
disappointed. Yeah, disappointed
Because it's already the
because it's
racial-
not what he thought.
Right?
It's
What did he think?
he thought Rosie was a nice supportive grandma. Donaar and Rosie had a lot of good moments together.
All true.
And except now he found out that she was doing hits on the side, and that via her association, his life and everyone else's
saying
life is
this?
in danger.
You
yeah.
saying this to me?
He also says like, I am, I don't know, how would he say, like, touched that, you, because we're all so close that, or I don't know, how would he say it?
It's a bit of a pickle.
Yes, like, I'm touched that we're all so close that we're now in danger. I don't know. Like, I'm glad you like us so much that now our lives are at risk.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Would have been nice to know going into all this.
It is a little disconcerting that you could keep something this huge from us.
That there's been a sword dangling above our heads this whole time that we didn't know about.
It's a hard topic to broach most of the time. Plus, it wasn't an actual threat. Like there's all kinds of real actual threats that we have to deal with. And until this, you guys, there's no threat to you.
How many of these have you done since we've known you? Been like running out at night killing people?
No, I think this is the first one that Rosie's gotten since
Since
joining Acq Inc.
Since being a franchisee.
Oh, it'd been so
Yeah.
much better if you were like, no, yeah. Like,
No.
like every other month. She was like leaving and having to kill someone in the
Gotta
middle of
take
the
care
night.
of this.
Yeah.
No, I think that's why this is a big deal. Is
Okay,
because
first
she
one.
doesn't get these very often.
Okay.
But what she has to do is she has to deal with them. And it's that like there's maybe a time and this time may never come, but then you'll do a favor for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, the mom father. Right
Mom,
here.
father.
We've seen the logo. It's a great logo.
Funny joke.
That was a really funny joke. But yeah, it's like that. So they're extremely rare, like maybe one every 15, 20 years.
Okay. Okay.
And so for something, and for it to be Omen, like this is almost something that she's thought about a lot, is that this is like somebody's sadistic sense of humor. Because she could kill whoever. Like it doesn't have to be someone that she knows and trusts and likes. But someone has given Omen to her as a way of like twisting the knife, which is part of why she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because she's also being manipulated.
Just resents it.
Yeah. She's like, I'm the manipulator. You don't manipulate me. So that's part of why she's trying to like figure out a way around this.
Yeah.
Also, Omen's nice. Whatever. Pays her.
He's okay.
He's played by my friend Jerry.
He'll
so
do
I
in a
can't,
pinch.
I can't
Yeah.
kill
I
him.
mean,
He'll do in a pinch.
This is all very confusing. And
yeah, Donaar is not even, it's not even like, oh, you're going to kill Omen. It's just like, I feel somewhat upset and betrayed by this.
yeah.
Hey, the Omen part, whatever.
We all have secrets. Donaar.
None of my secrets are going to get you killed. You know, I care for everyone at this table too, so much so that nothing in my past will kill any of us. Intentionally.
That's my scenario as well.
I love you too.
Your mom did try to kill us.
Well, we showed her. Given the probabilistic nature of this, Maybe I should wake Fen from her
Ooh, I really,
occupation of my room.
I would love for this to stay at this table for now. I would love to not involve Team Naiad in this.
I could present it hypothetically.
She's smarter than you give her credit for.
Maybe she already knows then.
The door opens. I had to.
Yeah.
It's so Fen.
So good.
The door opens from the joined room, and Fen places her hands on the banister and says, "Yes."
Not speaking of the devil, we were not talking about you. Can't predict everything.
We're talking about the devil, though.
The devil, what did come up, though?
What kind? It matters.
The biggest one. The regular top tier one.
Lord Asmodeus?
We're just chatting about him.
Don't.
Just John.
That's what I said. This joker said he was going to start praying to the guy.
I have a question.
Tris.
What? That's how communication is rendered in that world.
It's inadvisable.
That's true.
It's inadvisable.
You listen to her?
Noted. I need goat's blood. Now, where
Cthulhu.
can I get? For an unrelated reason.
Cthulhu,
Yeah.
I find you incredibly intriguing, and I would like to investigate a relationship with you.
Okay.
I don't know if you are currently affiliated
No.
with someone, or if there is something material about my person that would make such a union impossible. But I am absolutely ready to dedicate myself to an investigation of each other's bodies, and I'm willing to begin as early as tonight.
I will partition a part of my mind to address this. So be it.
That sucked.
It's just like joyless. How do we proceed and how long will it take?
Well, it depends. It depends. This is an area that I don't have a substantial amount of experience in. Certainly, there's going to be experiments of various kinds. I assume, and I'm familiar, of course, with the courtship as a ritual, generally speaking. But there's no reason to believe that we couldn't be prepared to please each other as early
Excuse
by next
me.
week.
I'm going to my room.
I want to imagine that whole time we were all talking, Donaar was also eating, and now he's just like,
Rosie has gone to the bar to get a Franzia wine chest.
It's just the shrapnel of the party. Like there was a very tense, very long conversation, and it's just nope.
Yeah.
It reached the level.
Like wait staff comes out and leaves.
The Franzia wine chest and 2 glasses is placed between the two of you. And Rosie's like, I think you have a lot to talk about.
Not really, I don't think.
Yeah. Think you
the graphic details of intercourse.
I think Rosie would probably go with you. Follow you upstairs.
Okay. I'll go in the common area because I don't want to go in my room.
Okay. All right. So are you coming up with us, Donaar? Or are you just going to stay down and watch these two flirt?
No, I think Donaar stays. I think he's
got a taste for it.
I think he's mad at
It's flavor.
he's mad at Rosie. I think he's mad at Rosie.
Oh, you can't go up, okay.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
stuck down here.
Yeah, we'll go up.
Okay. All right. Who wants to roleplay first? I think it should be Cthulhu.
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Yeah, let's do that.
So he would say,
She says, "You seem troubled." My understanding
oh yes.
is that this sort of thing should be communicated immediately. It can be a barrier to intimacy.
Oh, I'm troubled by other goings on. This exchange I'm ambivalent about at best.
Interesting. But she gets a small notebook out and makes a couple quick notes.
I'm just nudging you, like, nice. Nice, dude. Yeah.
Eating.
You're killing him. Yeah. I'm back eating. I'm like, I've gotten over this
The
gross
appetite
shock, and then
this
I'm like,
way.
back to the buffalo wings. Nice, dude. Good, nice.
I like that once it's like not gross.
Yeah.
Like it's like this could be a lecture for all you know.
Yeah.
Like it's not really okay.
She says, no, I have to say that this level of disinterest, I would say perilously close to disdain, is absolutely affecting my level of attraction.
Well, it's just that the physical interaction becomes so trivial. There are only so many combinations. You see, we're not dealing with a double-digit factorial here.
Cthulhu, two
Yourself,
notes.
homie.
One can
Two
only
notes.
permeate.
Two notes. For one, you lack imagination.
I've rarely been accused of that.
In this context, I suspect you may be ill-equipped.
Oh.
You'd be correct.
I suspect that you have much to learn, and I am in a position to discover these things with you.
But do these activities not ground us further to this plane?
Well, which activities are you referring to?
Each of them. All three types. No, he says all two types. Like he doesn't even know there's more.
Two types.
She says, two types.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any experience in the romantic arena at all? You have said a couple things during this interchange that lead me to believe that your overlap with some of these themes is largely theoretical.
Oh, there was a time in my youth when I had such pursuits, but once I laid eyes upon the that relationship consumed me. And it cannot be found here at the physical level.
Do you know that?
I suppose I don't.
My suspicion is that we are individuals of sufficient cleverness to ascertain such a thing.
Let's gather information.
I have a basic premise and a few diagrams. I would love to retire immediately, if that would be acceptable. We can examine these together. And of course, if you have any notes, I would be quite interested to hear your input.
I suspect there'll be a great deal of overlap. But it should be sufficient.
Excellent. Well, at your leisure.
Halfway through that, Donaar just pushed his chair up and walked away.
Done with it now.
And he walks into the room with you two, and he goes, he just admitted he bangs his
Rosie's like, of course he does.
Yeah.
We all knew that. Yes.
Oh, here. So, Josh, if you would be so kind.
Oh.
There is a scribble in
So bad at me.
the Documancer notebook.
I take it out and look at it. Nothing else going on.
Yeah. The handwriting is very clearly Omendron's.
I look at it almost joylessly. Yeah?
Says, is there anything going on in the branch that I should know about?
And Walnut writes back, as a matter of fact, there is.
He says, Right on, Documancer.
Walnut begins to transcribe all. She starts to write about the things that are going on with Brahma.
Tell me about how you're writing it. Is it halting?
It's completely analytical.
Nice.
It's like, Brahma was afflicted with an echo of Tiamat. It was dispensed with. Does not say how.
Yeah.
And then Janar Blitzen found a source of new power. And then it says, and then she stops. It says Rosie Beestinger, and then she stops writing.
After in that pause, Omen writes a question mark after Rosie Beestinger.
And then she looks at Rosie.
He writes, I'm well aware of Rosie Beestinger's past. Indeed, it's why I hired her.
Wants to die.
It says, may come for you next.
God damn it, Walnut. Oh my God.
Sorry.
He says, what is the meaning of this?
And then Walnut writes, she claims she will not, but has been tasked to kill you.
He says, fascinating. He says, expect there is a mail already on its way, well on its way, that may put your team in a position for me to ascertain this with more clarity.
Walnut just writes, I await it.
Thanks, Josh. That is the contact from home office.
I know.
Omen, it's
Delight.
Omen.
So
This fucking episode. Jesus.
Yeah, I know a lot.
Rosie would absolutely be like, what you writing?
My diary. People keep diaries.
Oh my God, you're such a bad liar. I will do an insight check against your fucking deception.
With ease.
Go ahead.
Is anybody juicing it?
I will juice.
I'll juice.
Because
Counter
I've got
juice.
great deception.
Counter juice.
I don't have good insight, so we'll hope for the best here.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, it's
You
lucky
can
though.
reroll, though.
Oh, dang it.
You have her luck.
Do I get your luck?
Yeah.
No.
She just,
I can't.
She just
can't
used
take
it,
it.
though.
No.
Dang it.
16.
Okay, I got a 10.
What's your deception?
She's
It's a plus
zero?
0.
no, just through her teeth.
Yeah.
Just lies. Just opens her mouth and lies fall out.
But I think that that's enough for me to know what just happened then. Like for you to be secretly like scritching in your book and then just to lie to me about what you just did. I feel like Rosie
Especially
would
after the
know.
conversation?
Yeah.
Oh,
like Rosie
no.
would know what just happened. She wouldn't even have to like beg you for that information.
Oh, 10 no.
And so she'd nod. She'd say, is he on his way?
There's correspondence on its way.
Correspondence. What does that mean? I mean, I know it means mail.
That may be worse.
Oh. Okay.
There's a shadow passes over the window, and you can see Albie, basically the mail deliverer for Acquisitions Incorporated, on the long road, reaches up, swings the Acquisitions Incorporated logo off of the drawn courtier sign, and then drops a piece of mail into the slot.
Oh. Well, we're upstairs in our room.
We might have heard the sign squeak.
Oh, the sign squeak, the telltale sign squeak. And
Is
I
there
go,
a window? No, it's-
Yeah, on the front, yeah.
oh, and I go, that is it right now. I will go and collect it. And I'm happy to get out of this situation. And then when I do that, I go by Fennec Cathris again, and I am very flustered about that. And upset. And I get the mail, and I grimace at them, and then I go back upstairs, and I open this correspondence in front of Rosie, so I don't want to hide it, because now I got caught in my lie.
Yeah, it says there is a contention for the wild card license. Customarily, such contention is resolved in competition. The competition will be held in Waterdeep at the Acquisitions Incorporated home office. The competitors will be the team currently stationed at the Drawn Courier in Red Larch and the newly reinstated team Bellerophon.
God damn it, Jerry.
Thank you so much. That's our game for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been an absolute pleasure.
What's it say?
We will see you, of course, next Wednesday, because that is when we play the game. Indeed, at 4 p.m. PDT. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. We're going to go and we're going to emit potty as much as possible. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do table talk. You'll see. It's going to happen exactly like I said. See ya.
Oh boy.